First thing we need is our transit. Grab our transit. Get the tile in this pool right here. Gotta get our level marks to see how it matches up to this screen door, sliding door. Gotta have enough pitch to go from pool to this deco drain that we're gonna have running through here, and then have enough pitch from that sliding glass door to the deco drain for any water that gets in here to shed back and drain out. I'm gonna get the transit set up and we'll show y'all how to do that. All right, I got my laser set up. Right now it's on this beam of the pool. Now we're gonna go around and try to find the highest spot of this pool beam. This pool is getting paver coping. It's 2 1/4 inches thick with a mud bed. So what we do is we leave our tile just a little high. That way there's a nice mud bed they can put in and fill this beam up. Because any low spots that you have to set your paver on, you got to grind out or they won't be level with each other. So I'm going to go around and find the high spot of this beam and we'll go from there. See, this is low compared to that other spot. It's telling me my transit needs to come up. So if I come up with my transit, it pulls it up off of the beam. So that tells me that that spot over there that I first set my transit up to is higher than this spot. So we'll check that. Now look, see, it tells me this is low. It means I gotta take my transit down to get it back on level. That means this spot is higher than that other spot. So I'm gonna adjust my transit for this level here and see if I can find another spot that's higher. All right, we found the highest point of the pool. This spot right over here. I put an X on it. So what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna take this transit and we're gonna measure a piece of tile and move this transit stake down. That way now our transit mark will be set up a little more than 5.5 inches down from here. That means our tile will stick up just a little bit. All right, what I like to do, so this is the highest point of my beam. I'm gonna take this tile, I'm gonna hold it up here to where it's a little bit higher than the top of the concrete. Now that will allow me to take a mud bed and fill in right here, so that when we put our coping on, it'll sit nice and level. We won't have to grind any of this concrete down to get them down. So what I do is I put my level on here on this tile, make sure it's plumb, hold it up there, and then I'm gonna mark it. I mark the bottom of it. Now that level right there, that's where the tile is gonna sit. The bottom of this tile is gonna be right on that mark across this whole pool. Now the easiest way to do this is I'm gonna take this transit, I'm gonna set the bottom of this transit to the top of this mark right here. I'm gonna mark every corner. I'm gonna put a mark, 2 marks in every corner. I'll set my chalk line up on a nail because I'm by myself. I usually do tile by myself. And I'll pop a line. And I'll have a string line, chalk line, hitting all these walls. And I'll put a piece of Homosode up for a ledger board, and then we'll start sticking them. All right, so we got our transit set up. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and mark every corner. All right. Now, we got every corner marked. Go ahead and take a nail, start popping some string lines. All right, I got my nail on the line, so that's gonna help hold the other end of this string, this chalk line. See, it's got this little slot in it. Put your nail on there, on your nail. Now I got a nice chalk line for this piece of Homosode. It's called Homosode. And we're gonna nail this to that line, and all of our tiles are gonna sit on this. It acts as a ledger board. So I'm gonna pop these other lines here. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 more lines to pop. Then we'll start hanging this home. And just to double check our original mark, we're right on it. We're good to go. Oh, just in case anyone was wondering what the view was like today. Must be nice, huh? All right, let's get this Homosode. I gotta get some concrete nails. We'll take a fluted concrete nail about every 18 inches and we'll hang this Homosode up. And take this Homosode and we'll hold it right here on this line. And we're gonna nail it up. Nail it right flush to that line. Around the whole pool. And that's where our tile is gonna sit on. We'll stick it on this wall, some thin set. Let's get to it. No sense of using this whole board. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it in half. That way I can use 2 in 1. All right, I got my Homaso set up here. I put some nails in it kind of beforehand. That way it's a little easier. Stick it up there. Put it right flush. And just nail it in. Now these fluted concrete nails, they're 1.5 inches. They got these little lines in them. Helps hold the concrete. That's why they're able to nail into these concrete nice and easy. Nail this off. There we go. A couple more down here. Got to get these things in straight. If you're at an angle if this nail is pushed down, it's going to want to push this up off your line. Same thing if it's angled down and you're trying to hit this nail in, it's going to want to push this down. So you got to keep this nail nice and level. Tap it right in. There we go. I just need to do that for the rest of the pool. And we'll start mixing some thin set here. Get our lines set up. All right, got all the Homosote hung around the whole pool. Now it's time that we take our string line right here. What we're gonna do is take a nail. We're gonna start on this wall here, it's tiling, because it's got the skimmer. Or really we're gonna start with this spa. I'm gonna find center of this spa, mark a line, and then we'll take a tile and see how it lines up over here. Notice we have this little jog out. So we'll set some tiles up here and we'll work it and see what the best way. We'll find center, we'll either start a tile and split the difference of center, or we're gonna start a tile on each side. That way this whole spa is even. You don't have a small cut over here and maybe a full tile over here. It'll all be the same. It'll be a full tile, then the same cut, and the same cut, or it'll be a tile, split the difference in the middle, and hopefully it'll be a full tile at the end. So we'll do that, and we're gonna set this string line up on this wall here. And this string line is gonna help us keep this tile straight. This beam is not straight. This concrete, it waves. I don't know if you can see it or not, but concrete waves. So what we'll do is we stick our tile out about 3/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch of a mud bed, and that gives us room to push this tile in or out depending on how much, you know, this concrete fluctuates. So we'll set our string line up and go from there. All right, put a nail. That's what our string is going to hold on to. We'll leave this nail here. That way we can push this string line either way. Take a nail down here. We'll put one right here at the end where this wall would be. I'll kind of just set one right here. Okay, now what we do, take our string line, it's already got a knot in it. Take it over here. And tie it off on this nail. That. Now this string line, the string line is on this wall now. Take our tile, and now this needs to come pushed out. The string line is hitting right here. It's inside of this concrete. So I'll take this nail, I'm gonna push this string, this is being dramatic, but I'll push this string line out a little bit. That way it's just over that concrete. And that's where the back of my tile is gonna be. So that string line right there, as long as I put every tile to the back of it, they'll all be lined up with each other. Okay, now got our string line up. Before I want to mix any mud, I want to start this tile on this spa. Like I was saying earlier, we need to find the middle of it so that way we can have even tiles across the face of it. All right, so we got our tape measure. We're gonna measure this wall and find center of it. 64 inches, so we're gonna 32. And now that 32 inches, that's where the center of our spa is. Now we'll take this tile. Oops, where's my tile? And we'll take our tile and we're gonna see if we set this up how it's gonna fall on each side. Take our tile, gonna mark it. All right, so if I take a full tile and start at the center, at the end over here, we're gonna have a little cut. So if I take a tile and put it in the middle, now we'll have almost a full tile at the end. Now we won't have any cuts. And to me, the face of that spa will look way better having no cuts in it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start my tile. I'm gonna split the difference of this line. And that's where I'm gonna start my tile. I'll start on the spa. Go ahead and start that way. I'm gonna work my way around. I'm gonna do this whole pool first. Then I'll start on the spa. All right, we got everything set up. I'm gonna start taking this tile out to the pool and start laying it on the beam. That way it's easy for me to grab to. I don't have to keep coming back and forth to get the tile out of the trailer. So we'll take a box and go about every 20 feet or so. Drop one. That way it's nice and easy to pick up our tiles. I'm not sitting here driving back and forth to the trailer getting them. All right, so I had to set another string line up. You can see how bad this shell is. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's about a ½ inch difference from this little hump right here. There's a hump that is in this gunite. So I'll take my first tile. Remember I found center earlier. Now I want to start it in the middle. So we'll take our tile, put it in the middle, and we're going to go to the back of that line, string line. Take our level, level it up, and that's our first tile. And we'll do that all the way around. Take a tile, get some thin set. And I always line up to my other tile, line up at the bottom and push it in to your line. All right, so you can see this tile is really textured, so it's not one to scratch right. This is a scratch cutter, it just scratches the porcelain and you're able to break it, but it's not getting a clean scratch on it because this tile is so darn textured. So what I'm gonna have to do is cut all my cuts with my grinder. I got a nice tile blade, so I'll just cut that off, get a new tile, mark it, and cut it for my corners. Put one there, and I'll put one there. Now, anytime you have a corner that protrudes into the pool, like this one, this hole is here for a skimmer. There's a big skimmer, it's actually over there. That white thing right there. It sits right here, it skims water, sucks water off the top of the pool for any type of bugs or grass or dirt that's floating. So, this miter I cut is so when you have two tiles that are joining together on a corner, you have a nice edge. If you didn't have those miters, you would just have two tiles that basically would butt up like this, and it would look like crap. See it, how one is lighter than the other? So take those two miters, and now it'll be a nice grout line. I will have to cut some for here. I'll have to cut 1, 2, 4 miters for this corner, another 4 miters for that corner, and then all the other corners, they don't protrude, they go back in, so those will be okay. We can just put straight tiles there. So that's why you cut miters. Okay, got our first couple tiles done here. Like I said, we started at the center of the spa with a tile, and now see how it's all even? No cuts. Well, we had a cut at the end, but it almost looks like a full tile. And then we have our 2 miters here. We have a miter. That way when our tile kicks back to our skimmer, it'll be a nice grout line. So I'm gonna get to the rest of this, go ahead and get this whole pool done. Probably take me about, I don't know, 2 hours. We'll get this pool done, and then we'll start on that spa. It's nice out today. It's like 70 right now, maybe a little, maybe like 72. perfect day here in Florida. I woke up, it was 43 degrees, so nice day. Couple ducks playing out there. And get going. I like my thin set to be like creamy peanut butter. The way it sits nice, it's easy to push in, easy for the tile to level itself. Perfect consistency. All right, got my last 2 tiles set on this pool, and then I'm done with it. Number 1, number 2. And that's it. Pool tile is done. Hop down in there. Took me about 2 hours to do the rest of the pool. I got lunch first before I started, so it wasn't too bad. We'll get a close up here.
pretty tile. Like I said, it's got a lot of texture in it. Looks good. Blue looks nice.
So that'll probably be it for this video. I'll get back over here next week, start on that spa. Gotta tile it. We're gonna have to pour the wing walls on it.
These are called wing walls here. When they shoot the pool, they only do it 6, but we want it 12 inches. So gonna have to carry this concrete wall.
I'll form it up with some 2x12s, pour it, strip those forms, and then tile it. So remember to like the video, subscribe, and come back for more.